Like and subscribe right now, and Bitcoin people make you rich. 24-year-old burglar threatens 73-year-old ex-boxer/marine and his wife with a knife. Mugshots.com puts people's mugshots online and then demands payment to take them down. The site's founders were just arrested for extortion. Here are their mugshots. When ya baby mother bring her family to beat you up, but they get pulled over out front and the police find dogs in the car. Look at God working. So I'm at the dollar store to get a spade to plant bulbs in my garden, and this little shut of a kid decided to throw a fit over these larger candy bars and called his mother, and I quote, a butch, because she wouldn't get him this particular bar. I was waiting for her to slap the living shut out of him, and instead she literally gave in and said, I'll get you the bigger one when we get to the register. Well, I'll tell you now, I had no intentions of spending $24 bucks on candy bars, but the look on that little shut's face as I walked out the door with all they had left was priceless. Best $24 I ever spent. Hashtag that you little bastard. Parenting other people's kids. A Chipotle manager who was fired for stealing $626 just won an $8 million lawsuit after it turned out they framed her as revenge for filing workman's comp for carpal tunnel syndrome bars. Texas teacher who tried to contact Trump to have her students deported is officially fired. Driver anthem to destroy giant snowman, not realizing it's built on a large tree trunk. This is Venice City Hall right after the approval of a climate change denial amendment. To the driver of the white Acura RDX, license X06A, for privacy, who threw their Taco Bell drive-through garbage out the window onto Lauid Highway at Chilco, I've got your garbage. I will drop off your garbage and your full license plate number with by law enforcement. You can pick it up there, or they can deliver it to your home address, though they might have some paperwork for you. Litter and illegal dumping costs Coquitlam residents hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. My dad used to live in a really bad area growing up, surrounded by a lot of gangs, and he told me that there was this kind, openly gay boy that used to tutor all these gang leaders for free. And one day a homophobe insulted him, and 5 gangs found out and went to go beat him up. You are bad guy, but this does not mean you are bad guy. Firefighters had to smash the window of this illegally parked vehicle on my street. A lawyer who slapped a lady constable in Furzuela arrested and presented to court by the same lady constable. Dark-skinned girl just won't accept the fact that they all ugly, since you wanted to be bold. Man who helped draft laws ordering adulterers to be flogged is publicly whipped after he is caught having an after. Man who helped draft laws ordering adulterers to be flogged is flogged. Taxi driver took a much longer route than we agreed to. We told him to stop the car and let us take another taxi. The police immediately saw him stop and fined him. This guy been keeping me awake at night. Well, guess what, mother ducker? It's Baby Shark on 12-hour loop. 1. Man on an electric scooter hits pedestrian. 2. Police officer turns on siren, trying to stop scooter rider. 3. Car thinks police are trying to stop him, pulls over. 4. Car hits scooter rider. 5. Scooter rider sent to hospital in critical condition. Man on electric scooter hits pedestrian, only to be hit by car himself. Police say. Girls tries to pour acid on ex's face. Wind blows it onto hers instead. A very jilted girlfriend has been burned on literal and figurative levels after trying to carry out an acid attack on her former lover. Police say Ang Laimi, a 21-year-old from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, tried to pour acid on her former fiancé while riding on the back of his motorcycle. He was injured, but most of the acid was blown back onto her own face. Big game hunter killed when shoot elephant collapses on top of him. A man hurled racist slurs and a punch at a FedEx driver, then died after he was punched back. damn. He sent him to God. Same day shipping. My two older children were trying to lay out all of their Pokemon cards, but the youngest kept intervening, so they duct taped him to a chair. True story. When I was about 9 years old, my friends and I were building a whole bunch of mini snowmen, just to see how many we could make. Some jerk drove over the curb and destroyed them. Laughing like the big jerk he was, we built more. He returned a few minutes later and destroyed them too. When he left, we quickly built a snowman over a fire hydrant and surrounded it with a bunch more mini snowmen. He returned and gloriously crashed his car into the fire hydrant. Modern problems require modern solutions. Police shut down Holocaust Dana in Warsaw seconds after opening the sign. Idiots trying to siphon fuel end up snacking shut from sewage tank. Transgender woman silences weirdo who sent her pen's pic by sending one of hers back. Counter-Strike. Driver who kicked stray dog watches car get destroyed after same dog returns with friends. Guy accidentally shoots himself in the face after bullet ricochets off an armadillo. Carmadillo. What goes around comes around. I'm Mar Savage. The sad reality of our world. You have 27,000 tweets. You joined here in June 2016. Which means you joined here 136 weeks ago. 136 weeks is 952 days. If you divide 27,000 to 952, the result is 28. You tweet 28 times a day, yet you still talk about how everyone is addicted to their phones. Guy throws brick at car window. It bounces back and hits him in face. God is very quick these days. If you're looking for the grey bike, I stole it back. It was mine. Photos plus serial number to prove. So long snacker. Haha. Loser. Cyclist who attacked girl putting up BLM signs got arrested and fired. You get what you ducking deserve. A few weeks ago in Morocco, he blocked the tramway for some likes on social media. Today he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Wife celebrates abusive husband's death by dumping his ashes in the trash. Welp. A 20-year-old student was sentenced to prison for lying about being ripped by football players, then rolls her eyes during sentencing. Harrow schoolboy killed by single punch after telling bouncer, "You'll work for me one day." Cover. The guy who pushed past me on the tube and then suggested I go F myself just arrived for this interview with me. Dog travels more than 100 kilometers to bite its owner after being abandoned. My bike was stolen last week and yesterday I saw it for sale on Craigslist. So I messaged the seller, met him at McDonald's, and when I noticed it was 100% my bike I dumbly asked to take it for a ride. He said yeah, just don't ride off, which is exactly what I did. I stole my bike back. A man walked into a Louisiana Circle K, put a $20 bill on the counter, and asked for change. When the clerk opened the cash drawer, the man pulled a gun and asked for all the cash in the register, which the clerk promptly provided. The man took the cash from the clerk and fled, leaving the $20 bill on the counter. The total amount of cash he got from the drawer, $15. Pickpocket -5. Croatian man breaks his leg after vandalizing an anti-fascist monument. Rade Konka. Still crippling knees is 70 years later. Burger King staff in Russia beats and forces kids to clean after themselves. When you get rear-ended, the guy doesn't pull over and takes off, but his license plate gets imprinted on my car. Thought ya was sick. Shout out to the anonymous 6th grader for saving me a couple thousand. Bus not drawn to scale. If you're wondering what happened to your car, bus 449 hit your car. It stops here every day to drop me off. Deer rips off half of Hunter's face as he tries to shoot it. His face was hanging on for dear life. This little hole wouldn't move his legs for 3 add-ons. So this guy comes and just sits on his legs. Cop tried to shoot this dog for barking, but he accidentally shoot himself instead. Deputy injured. Riverside. If I get crown, I get crown. It's not gonna stop me from partying. Crown virus. College students in Florida test positive for crown virus after spring break tip. I'm inviting all the Indian team to join my fielding academy. It's a very exclusive club. Michael Van trolled India for poor fielding. Then Ben Stokes dropped an easy catch and trolled Van back. Or Nike's shoe sales slip while Adidas makes games. Or Kanye West drops album. Says he's $53 million in debt. After Matt Gaetz wore a gas mask into Congress to mock the fake crown virus. He was then exposed to the actual crown virus and is self-quarantined. I didn't believe in a god until this. Now I realize God hates tools. Woman walked up to a police car, jumped in, sped off, and then this actually happened. Burglary suspect fail in Arizona. Dropped your ID in my car after you broke the window. $1. You dropped your ID in my car after you smashed the window. Bring my brake pads and empty backpack back, ya loser, before I report your sorry ace. Rapist discovers his victim had HIV. A jailed rapist will discover this week whether he contracted HIV from his victim. Richard Thomas, 27. Collapsed when police informed him about his victims. An octopus snapped onto a vlogger's face and ripped her skin when she tried to eat it live on camera. When finally tearing the octopus free, the vlogger realized it had left a small injury on her cheek. "I'll eat it in the next video," she said. Cop roughing up homeless teen notices crowd had formed to watch what was going on. So cop walks up to crowd and punches 70-year-old man in the throat, unprovoked, before laughing and walking away. That man he punched turns out to be a judge. From breathing. 2 men steal Lyft driver's car, die after crashing into tree. I work at a bank and this lady came in with a $150,000 check, and to make conversation I was like, "Oh wow, I wish I had one of these." Then she dead ace was like, "It's a life insurance check. I would rather have the person." I was 13 and we decided to see who could jump the farthest off the swing. This was the moment before I hit a pole at the playground. The 2 cops who shoved a 75-year-old man to the ground have been arrested and charged with felony second-degree assault. California woman who coughed on an Uber driver says she'll only use Lyft. Lyft says no. California anti-masker who coughed on a driver says she plans to sue Uber. Although this incident did not involve the Lyft platform, the unacceptable treatment of the driver in this video compelled us to permanently remove the rider from the Lyft community. Driving in a pandemic is not easy. Please wear a mask, respect one another, and be a good person. Brock Turner, a former Stanford swimmer who was convicted of sexual assault back in 2016, but served only 3 months in prison, lost his appeal on Wednesday. He will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. A 77-year-old grandmother beat the crap out of a guy who tried to rob her. When Winifred P. Lantham tried to get cash from an ATM in Liverpool, 3 men tried to push her aside and take her money. "You're not having my money, young man," she thought, then grabbed one of them by the collar, pulled as hard as she could, bashed his head into the wall 3 times, and scared them off. Greedy man has his hoard of hand sanitizer confiscated and donated. Know the vital story about the man hoarding all the sanitizer? Twitter tracked down his storage unit via satellite and had the Attorney General's office help them clear it out for donations. Brah. People wouldn't stop mudding in this farmer's field, so the farmer put up a dirt barrier at the field's entrance. Today it caught someone. Bye bye Karen. Passengers cheer after woman gets kicked off flight for refusing to wear face mask. The annual monsoon ritual of Mumbai's ocean giving back what has been dumped in it. The most satisfied karma from Mother Nature. You deserve it, Mother Ducker. Don't feel bad for them. They let their 10-month-old daughter die because they refused to take her to a doctor. These Christians just realized they face life in prison for killing their baby. Islamic scholar who called crown virus divine punishment against China gets infected by crown virus. It is obvious that the spread of the virus is an act of Allah. A woman who allegedly coughed on a baby no longer has her school district job. Watch. Mother shaves daughter's head after she bullies girl with answer. Because that's what heroes do. Texas teacher who tried to contact Trump to have her students deported is officially fired. Became instant evil and slaughtered later. Guy throws brick at car window. It bounces back and hits him in face. I'm sitting in Starbucks and a bunch of cops are here too. This guy parks in a handicapped spot and has his kid run in to pick up their drinks. As the guy's backing out, the cops run out and give him a ticket. This car was graffitied for illegally occupying a handicapped spot from 2 AM to 4 PM. It was the mugshot that made national headlines. A drunk driver smiling for the camera after crashing and killing a Sarasota woman. Thursday, there were no smiles as she learned her fate. Woman in smiling mugshot sentenced to 11 years for DUI manslaughter. An illegal dumper receives a home delivery. Instagram influencer, 19, is charged with endangering life after being filmed throwing a chair from the 45th story balcony of an Airbnb rental in a Toronto high-rise during rush hour. Employees in a supermarket react to a customer that left the car in the middle of the parking lot, blocking the way. When United Airlines baggage handlers broke a musician's valued guitar and then spent a year refusing to pay for repairs, he wrote a song called United Breaks Guitars that got over 16 million hits on YouTube, reportedly caused United stock to sink 10%, and finally forced them to pay $3,000 compensation. Kidnapper takes the train to escape at the next station. Train doesn't stop at any stations until it reaches the station where the police were waiting. Train made to run non-stop from Lalitpur to Bhopal to catch 3-year-old's kidnapper. A train was made to run non-stop from Uttar Pradesh's Lalitpur to Madhya Pradesh's Bhopal to rescue a 3-year-old girl who was abducted. An RPF personnel checked CCTV footage and saw the kidnapper boarding a train and informed the authorities. After an inspector's request, the train was not stopped at any station but Bhopal, where the police arrested him. The revenge for not getting paid. Want your house painting? Don't be like Terry, pay the bill. This dummy is facing 20 years in prison for setting a police car on fire. FBI identified him easily because of his neck tattoo. Lions fatally maul poachers who broke into reserve to hunt rhinos. West Virginia lawmakers fell ill after drinking unpasteurized milk to celebrate the passing of a bill allowing the sale of the raw milk. Capital illness raises concerns. Charleston, West Virginia. Flood destroys home of Christian leader who claimed God sends natural disasters to punish gay people. Guy parks on stripes to avoid freezing rain. Happens to be under a leaky pipe. Troy Lee and Greg A death row inmate in Georgia escaped the night before his section, only to be killed in a bar fight that very same night. An anti-gay Hungarian politician has resigned after being caught by the police fleeing a 25-man urge through a window. When his height starts with 5 feet. When your weight starts with 200. Thank you for ruining my life. You should seriously feel like a piece of shit, right?